The first one was on my right outer thigh. At first, I didn't think much of it. I always had a problem with acne, and while it had died down by my mid-20s, well, that shit never really leaves you. Especially when stress hits. And with a new baby, stress is pretty much a given. My girlfriend was the one that pointed it out. I knew it was there because of the slight soreness bigger zits kind of radiate, but again, I figured it was run-of-the-mill. Then one morning when I was getting out of the shower, she just pointed at my thigh and said, "You have a huge blackhead on your leg." It was pretty gross. I've had infected blackheads and I've had zits come to a head in white to nearly green pus, but never completely black. And it was big too. It was about the size of a dime. "You think it's sexy?" I joked with her. "You think it's hot?" And she laughed and threw a pillow at me. "It's probably infected, dumbass. Put a band-aid on it." "Nah, it's fine," I insisted and got dressed and headed out to work. I don't know if it's because she pointed it out, but it hurt for the rest of the day. With the combination of pressure and itching, I could feel my heartbeat in the throbs. And its location made it rub against my work pants, which made the situation even worse. And right now, I'm working in flood relief, cleaning out a lot of basements, so it's just damp and cold, and by the end of the day, I wanted to just rip the whole chunk out of my leg. I got home and basically tore my pants off. The zit looked a little red around the edges, but it was still just a round black ball. It was throbbing so hard, I swear to God I could see it moving. "Oh my God, is that okay? Do you need to see a doctor?" My girlfriend just stared at it while I pulled on some cotton PJ pants. "Nah, I'll put a band-aid and some poly on it and it should go away on its own," I said, heading to the bathroom. She followed me, holding the baby, looking unconvinced. "I've never seen anything that black like that." "If it's still there tomorrow, I'll go," I promised her. That night, when I got up to feed the baby, we alternate nights because I do better with less sleep than she does, I decided to change the bandage after. And it was already looking better. It looked like the black pus was a small black lump being surrounded by clear, white-looking liquid. More pus, I'm guessing. And it didn't hurt near as bad. I put some more antibiotic cream on it, rebandaged it, and went to bed. The next morning, the zit was sore, but in a different way. Instead of a throbbing, stabbing pain, it was more of a healing burn sore. When I took the band-aid off, there was a bit of dried blood on it and my leg, but the zit was gone. There was just a small, slightly loose dot of skin where it was. So that made sense. It was probably a zit that got irritated into a blood blister, and it popped in the night. I showed my girlfriend, and she was glad the damn thing was gone. And that was that. For about a week. Then I got a second one. Then a third. And a fourth. In the course of 3 days, 8 black zits formed on my body. Mostly my lower body. 2 on my left calf, 1 on my right ankle, 1 on each thigh, 1 on my right ass cheek, 1 on my right forearm, and 1 on my chest. By the 3rd day, my girlfriend was begging me to go see a doctor. So I went. By then, the ones on my legs and my arm were the oldest and hurt the most. When I showed the doctor, he looked very confused and interested, but he seemed to agree with my theory that my stress and job are creating and aggravating some strong acne. He prescribed me an antibiotic and sent me to a dermatologist, who I wouldn't be able to see for another 2 days. When I went and saw the dermatologist, my oldest zits had already done what the first one had. Burst in the night, leaving just a small bit of blood and loose skin patch behind. But by then, I had grown nearly twice as many new zits. My girlfriend was worried I had something infectious, so until we could figure out what the cause was, I had to sleep on the couch. And I agreed. After all, I care about her health, and especially the health of the baby. But I figured the stress of worrying over this and then the uncomfortable sleeps on the couch were probably making my stress worse. The dermatologist was an interesting visit. After he admitted he had no idea what was going on, he asked me if we could lance one. Meaning, I'll take a small needle and puncture the skin. apply a bit of pressure and force out some of the filling," he said, unwrapping what looked like a giant sewing needle. "Well, sure, I guess, if it helps," was all I could pretty much think to say. So he did just that. He stuck the needle in one of the newer zits on my arm, and then kind of pushed down on the side of the needle while squeezing the sides of the zit with his fingers, like those gross popping videos. Thick black paste shot out of the small hole, like some awful disgusting Play-Doh. It smelled awful too, like swamp water and sewer. Whatever it was, it sure as hell wasn't blood. "What the fuck is wrong with me?" I said aloud at that point. The dermatologist kind of scraped the black paste into a sample container and told me to keep doing what I was doing until they could figure it all out. I was prescribed stronger antibiotics and told to go back to my doctor and request more medical leave from work. I hated to do that, but after a talk with my girlfriend at dinner that night, I decided to take at least a long weekend and relax. Work was too hard now anyway. My legs were dotted all over with the zits, and a good amount of my upper arms and chest too, and they all hurt like hell. I was tempted to land some of my own, but the one that the doctor did hadn't healed right and still had some of the black paste sitting under the skin, even though it didn't hurt anymore. So I just kept doing what I was doing and waking up to at least one small spot of blood on my blanket each morning. So, this is where it gets interesting. So tonight, the first night of my long weekend, my girlfriend convinced me to take a bath. Now, I'm not a bath guy, but she insisted. She made me a great dinner and bought me some nice craft beer and told me just to go soak in the tub for an hour, and she swears I'll feel better. Maybe it will help with the swelling. So I did. I did it more for her, for how worried she's been. But I'll admit when I first got into the tub that hot water felt nice. And not even 10 minutes into the bath did I admit she was right. My zits didn't hurt as bad. They weren't throbbing. And then, they didn't feel like they were there at all. It was great. I don't know if my girlfriend put one of her billion bath products in the water or what, but it was amazing. And then I opened my eyes. In the bath with me, swimming on top of the water, some already climbing over the edge of the tub, were frogs. Black, dime-sized frogs. I got the hell out of the water. I pulled the drain on the ones still in the tub, stepped on the ones on the floor. I grabbed a towel and saw that my arm was clear. The zits were gone. All of my zits were gone. Just dots of loose skin all over my body. I watched one of the frogs crawl to the window and fall off the ledge to outside. Another crawled in the vent. The rest I managed to kill. I'm trying not to freak out about it. I'm trying to tell myself that it's a fluke, that maybe I wadded through frogs' eggs while cleaning basements. There are a few species of frogs that grow their babies right under the skin, although none of them live near me. But they still do it. Maybe it's a really fucked up evolution because they're running out of clean water. I don't know what to think. They didn't hurt. It was just the surface of the skin. I don't think they're dangerous, but it's still so violating, so disgusting to know what the zits really are. I keep imagining the pain and itch in places now. And I'm not sure how to tell my girlfriend about it. Or about the black zit on the back of her neck.